We've lost contact with North America's 4th Air. Are there any? They're engaged in battle with the enemies.
It took a while, but finally we received the attack order. We must reduce damage as much as possible. Good luck, Raiden.
I'm forwarding you the information. Please confirm before beginning the mission. Do you hear me, Raiden? We're still surveying the enemies, so please head straight to the scene.
There doesn't appear to be many enemies coming to the suburbs, but you can't be negative. Remember, shoot them before they shoot you. Max speed. I think that you're aware of it, but it's the first time to witness contamination of this level with these kinds of massive weapons. To be honest, I don't know what will happen, so be careful.
I'm sending you the information on the enemy. No contaminations from surface weapons have been confirmed in the area. This will be area combat, so please act your catch. The 18th Mechanized Infantry are engaged in blocking the advancement of the enemy ships into metropolitan areas. It is unclear how long we can maintain the front line, so please hurry to the area. The speed of enemy destruction is perfect. Neither the plane nor the pilot have been damaged from the combat. We will be entering the metropolitan area very soon. The enemy in that area are being mopped up by the 2nd and 4th Handling Divisions. Please quickly pass through and aim for the target point.
Hold on. This is too much for the defense corps to handle on their own. Descend and pursue the destruction of the target.
Captain, is that really necessary? The citizens have all been evacuated, and most of the enemy weapons have been destroyed.
That may be so, but I'm sure the retreating people can do what they're talking about. It won't hurt to help out.
I'm getting a response by radar. Numerous enemies crossed the defense lines and invaded metropolitan areas.
You heard it. Sorry, but I'm gonna have to ask you to respond appropriately on site.
Getting a response on my radar. Numerous enemies have crossed the defense line and invaded the metropolitan area. Enemy aircraft is flying between the skyscrapers. Please be careful.
Be careful, you say. Do you have any better advice for me?
I believe it's the captain's role to give advice. Don't you have any advice for me?
Make sure you don't hit a building.
Enemy flight battleships are approaching. Good luck. There are vessels leaving from the ship. The enemy had suspended action following.
Believe that something so huge is being contaminated. But I gotta say, the mission was well accomplished.
Excellent job.
Well, I'd like to relax over a coffee now, but it seems that's not possible. What's the report, Ashiria?
We have received contact from the Middle East range. There appears to be a high crystal response within the vicinity of latitude 18 degrees north and longitude 42 degrees east. It seems to have the same energy response as previous flight evolution.
In other words, there's been another annoying contamination. Fortunately, you'll have to refuse the invitation to tonight's party.
There's a town around the oasis ahead of us, but it appears that there has been much weapon response. You can see
Their attacks seem perfectly efficient. Can it be there's some sort of unified solution?
there are no SOS calls from the town. Of course, everyone is able to evacuate.
But all I know is that I have permission to attack them without hesitation.
Why are you always so confident? Is that because you're military man?
Well, I'm not sure myself. What do you think, Ashiria? You're military, right?
You're so mean. Your destruction rate is pretty low. Captain, you weren't very efficient out there. I'm sure there's no problem with the plane. Raid the valley and proceed without going over the cliff. Why have you chosen to raid them as if they're huge?
I won't jump to conclusions yet, but I sense that those crystals have advanced intelligence.
No way! Even if they had any, it could only be simple behavioral patterns like that of insects, right?
Can't rely on the words of scholars. Let's just be cautious for now.
Enemy response at imminent. Please maintain your command.
The enemies will start gathering soon. Gotta rush through.
Bound will hit later. Exercise caution because I can. Successful entry into the room. Raiden is unscathed. It's perfect up to here. The data analysis from Raiden is complete. What are these numbers?
Hurry up and report.
There's crystal reaction from the cave, but no contamination has been detected from other than the...
So it's a cave surrounded by crystals. Isn't that a promising cave for the future? Man, give him a break.
But to have contamination in the cave?
I guess the cave's being a We'll have to ask it to come out and play.
The enemy is transforming and the energy level is increasing. Please be extra careful. Enemy deactivated. Watch out for explosions. Exit out into the sky. Please make a vertical ascent and evacuate at once.
Excavating. I think we can... Sorry for keeping you waiting. I'm heading towards the Wind's shipping port. It's a private port that also actually carries out repairs and maintenance for BCD.
Bellwether will head there immediately, but please patrol and secure the surrounding airspace before heading towards the team. Transmission has come in from the council.
It's been a long time, Captain Maxwell. Why is Bellwether...
Sorry for keeping you waiting. I'm heading towards the Wind's shipping port. It's a private port that also actually carries out repairs and maintenance for BCD.
Bellwether will head there immediately, but please patrol and secure the surrounding airspace before heading towards the team. Transmission has come in from the council.
It's been a long time, Captain Maxwell. Why is Bellwether heading toward Windsport?
Miss Helga Lindbergh. What a pleasure to hear from a woman who must be so busy working for the council.
Thanks for being so considerate. Although I'd be even happier if you didn't increase my workload. Why did you change the course of Bellwether? I'd also like an explanation for the SOS call to the port in the name of BCD.
Well, that's...
Captain, I've confirmed multiple contaminated weapons here at Windsport.
Not good. Quickly mop up the port enemies, Raiden. Yes,
Yes, you tell me all about it when you have time later.
Captain, you issued an SOS call to the port. Did you know that the enemy...
I came up with a hypothesis while retrieving pistols and tape, so I made the call just in case. Sorry for keeping you waiting. I'm heading towards the Wind's shipping port. It's a private port that also actually carries out repairs and maintenance for BCD.
Bellwether will head there immediately, but please patrol and secure the surrounding airspace before heading towards the team. Transmission has come in from the council.
It's been a long time, Captain Maxwell. Why is Bellwether heading toward Windsport?
Sorry for keeping you waiting. I'm heading towards the Wind's shipping port. It's a private port that also actually carries out repairs and maintenance for BCD.
Bellwether will head there immediately, but please patrol and secure the surrounding airspace before heading towards the team. Transmission has come in from the council.
It's been a long time, Captain Maxwell. Why is Bellwether heading toward Windsport?
Miss Helga Lindbergh. What a pleasure to hear from a woman who must be so busy working for the council.
Thanks for being so considerate. Although I'd be even happier if you didn't increase my workload. Why did you change the course of Bellwether? I'd also like an explanation for the SOS call to the port in the name of BCD.
Well, that's...
Captain, I've confirmed multiple contaminated weapons here at Windsport.
quickly mop up the port enemies, Raiden. Yes, you're all.
Yes, do tell me all about it when you have time later.
Captain, you issued an SOS call to the port. Did you know that the enemy...
I came up with a hypothesis while retrieving the crystals of the cave, so I made the call just in case.
The port enemy has nearly annihilated. We will continue with their duties, so please don't touch me. Your vital meter is decreasing. I understand, so please don't focus to the end. Emergency contact from the show port defense base. It's undergoing mass attack from enemy devices. We're receiving requests for urgent relief.
I knew they'd be appearing there. So we have to retreat. You hear that, Raiden? Fly northwest from there and you'll arrive in no time. Hurry! We're heading there too.
Seems like you've missed quite a lot of enemies. I know you're tired from all the fighting, but please keep your head. Captain, you mentioned that you needed a...
Yeah. My hypothesis was unfortunately correct. I thought these crystals might be advanced life forms that could mutually communicate.
They look like jewels, but are actually intellectual.
You see, they were obviously mining for the crystals in that cave. I assumed that by us taking away their crystals, they'd come back for revenge.
Well then, why don't you report to the Weapons Development Division and the Council and ask for an analysis?
It'll be years of meetings if you ask for help from scientists and politicians. Showing them the results is the quickest way.
Excuse me, but that remark is one that ignores civilians. Captain, you mentioned that you needed a cure.
Yeah. My hypothesis was unfortunately correct. I thought these crystals might be advanced life forms that could mutually communicate.
They look like jewels, but are actually intellectual.
You see, they were obviously mining those crystals in that cave. I assumed that by us taking away their crystals, they'd come back for revenge.
Well then, why don't you report to the Weapons Development Division and the Council and ask for an analysis?
There will be years of meetings if you ask for help from scientists and politicians. Showing them the results is the quickest way.
Excuse me, but that remark is one that ignores civilian control. Your remark and conduct are worthy of a military tribunal.
Well, in that case, tell them you were forced by the captain.
High energy response. A contaminated weapon. Blood? It's coming out from the water. Its arms are opening up. Will read this transformation. High energy response. A contaminated weapon. Blood? It's coming out from the water. Its arms are opening out. Will read this transformation. Transforming into a walking corpse. I'm getting a high energy response. A contaminated weapon. Blood? It's coming out from the water. High energy response. A contaminated weapon. Blood? It's coming out from the water. I'm getting a high energy response. A contaminated weapon. Blood? It's coming out from the water. Its arms are opening out. Will read this transformation. I'm getting a high energy response. A contaminated weapon. Blood? It's coming out from the water. High energy response. A contaminated weapon. Blood? It's coming out from the water. arms are opening out. We're waiting for transformation. The enemy is transforming into a walking pig.
Well, anyways, I'm glad we've won. We can't leave the crystals like this. We better head to the French LHC, or else we'll be chased forever.
You hear me, Raiden? We're being forced by the captain to come.
We don't want to stand out too much on this mission, so we'll fly close above the sea and the ground until we get close to the LHC.
I'm getting responses to contaminated weapons in Clan Airways. Raiden, I need you to proceed and destroy them. We're getting close to Sidonia Falls. Blend into the waterfall on your phone. I'm sorry for reading your copy. There's a transition.
We don't want to stand out too much on this mission, so we'll fly close above the sea and the ground until we get close to the LHC.
I'm getting responses to contaminated weapons in Clan Airways. Raiden, I need you to proceed and destroy them. We're getting close to Sidonia Falls. Blend into the waterfall on your phone. I'm sorry for ruining your coffee time, Captain, but there is a transmission.
Oh? Madam Lindworm from the Council? I'm surprised you've already caught on.
It's not the Council. It's from the weapons department. I will connect you.
Did you forget that we're at war while you're carefree with the talking? How about paying attention to your role as the captain of Bellwether, a cutting-edge aircraft carrier?
I apologize for worrying. Bellwether of the Weapons Development Division performed wonderfully. It would really be helpful if you could improve the feel of the seat and coffee as well.
Go on a walk with these precious aircraft.
I'm not obliged to inform you, technical officer.
You think I'm some kind of normal technical officer? Without me, Raiden and Bellwether wouldn't be around. This whole war with the crystals depends on me. I guess it's difficult for someone like you who judges people on ranks to understand.
Oh, I apologize. The transmissions will be temporarily shut off since the ship will be entering the United States. I will contact you when I'm ready.
Lieutenant Campbell of the Weapons Development Division, huh? I knew the name, but didn't know how annoying he would be. We don't want to stand out too much on this mission. We will fly close above the sea and the ground until we get close to the LHC.
I'm getting responses to contaminated weapons in Clan Airways. Raiden, I need you to proceed and destroy them. We're getting close to Sidonia Falls. Blend into the waterfall on your phone. I'm sorry for ruining your coffee time, Captain, but there is a transmission.
Oh? Madam Lindworm from the Council? I'm surprised you've already caught on.
It's not the Council. It's from the weapons department. I will connect you.
Did you forget that we're at war while you're carefree with the talking? How about paying attention to your role as the captain of Bellwether, a cutting-edge aircraft carrier?
I apologize for worrying. Bellwether of the Weapons Development Division performed wonderfully. It would really be helpful if you could improve the feel of the seat and coffee as well.
Go on a walk with these precious aircraft.
I'm not obliged to inform you, technical officer.
You think I'm some kind of normal technical officer? Without me, Raiden and Bellwether wouldn't be around. This whole war with the crystals depends on me. I Guess it's difficult for someone like you who judges people on ranks to understand.
Oh, I apologize. The transmissions will be temporarily shut off since the ship will be entering pneumatic speed. I will contact you when final.
Lieutenant Campbell of the Weapons Development Division, huh? Knew the name, but didn't know how annoying he would be.
The enemy destruction speed is great. Please keep up the good work. We will be approaching the LHC facility very soon. I'm getting a contamination response on my radar. Captain, multiple contaminated weapons are invading the LHC facility.
Was it drawn to our crystals? How did they get here before we did? No time. Respond to the enemy in the air, Bellwether. Annihilate the enemies that have invaded the LHC facility, right? They've made quite an invasion, and they've done it in an organized formation. They have a commanding officer or something?
A commander among the crystals?
I was speaking hypothetically, but there's no doubt that there must be some core that's giving orders.
We will be approaching the LHC facility very soon. I'm getting a contamination response on my radar. Captain, multiple contaminated weapons are invading the LHC facility.
Was it drawn to our crystals? How did they get here before we did? No time. Respond to the enemy in the air, Bellwether.
We will be approaching the LHC facility very soon. I'm getting a contamination response on my radar. Captain, multiple contaminated weapons are invading the LHC facility.
Was it drawn to our crystals? How did they get here before we did? No time. Respond to the enemy in the air, Bellwether. Annihilate the enemies that have invaded the LHC facility, right? They've made quite an invasion, and they've done it in an organized formation. They have a commanding officer or something?
A commander among the crystals?
I was speaking hypothetically, but there's no doubt that there must be some core that's giving orders.
be approaching the LHC facility very soon. I'm getting a contamination response from my unit. Captain, multiple contaminated weapons are invading the LHC facility.
Was it drawn to our crystals? How did they get here before we did? No time. Respond to the enemy in the air, Bellwether. Annihilate the enemies that invaded the LHC facility, Raiden. They've been quite impatient, and they've done it in an organized formation. They have a commanding officer or something?
A commander among the crystals? That's great.
I was speaking hypothetically, but there's no doubt that there must be some core that's giving orders.
We will be approaching the LHC facility very soon. I'm getting a contamination response from my unit. Captain, multiple contaminated weapons are invading the LHC facility.
Was it drawn to our crystals? How did they get here before we did? No time. Respond to the enemy in the air, Bellwether. Annihilate the enemies that invaded the LHC facility, Raiden. They've been quite impatient, and they've done it in an organized formation. They have a commanding officer or something?
A commander among the crystals? That's great.
I was speaking hypothetically, but there's no doubt that there must be some core that's giving orders.
More enemies are approaching the LHC central facility. We will be approaching the LHC facility very soon. I'm getting a contamination response from my unit. Captain, multiple contaminated weapons are invading the LHC facility.
Was it drawn to our crystals? How did they get here before we did? No time. Respond to the enemy in the air, Bellwether. Annihilate the enemies that invaded the LHC facility, Raiden. They've been quite impatient, and they've done it in an organized formation. They have a commanding officer or something?
A commander among the crystals? That's great.
I was speaking hypothetically, but there's no doubt that there must be some core that's giving orders.
be approaching the LAC facility very soon. We will be approaching the LAC facility very soon. I'm getting a intelligence log on our route. Captain, multiple contaminated weapons are invading the LAC facility.
Was it launched on crystals? How did they get here before we did? No time. Respond to the enemy in the air, Bellwether. Annihilate the enemies that have invaded the LHC facility, Raiden. They've made quite an invasion, and they've done it in an organized formation. They have a commanding officer or something?
A commander among the crystals? It's pretty cool.
We're speaking hypothetically, but there's no doubt that there must be some core that's giving orders.
We will be approaching the LAC facility very soon. I'm getting a contamination response on my route. Captain, multiple contaminated weapons are invading the LAC facility.
Was it launched on crystals? How did they get here before we did?
We will be approaching the LAC facility very soon. I'm getting a contamination response on my route. Captain, multiple contaminated weapons are invading the LAC facility.
Was it launched on crystals? How did they get here before we did? No time. Respond to the enemy in the air, Bellwether. Annihilate the enemies that have invaded the LHC facility, Raiden. They've made quite an invasion, and they've done it in an organized formation. They have a commanding officer or something?
A commander among the crystals? It's pretty cool.
We're speaking hypothetically, but there's no doubt that there must be some core that's giving orders.
More enemies are approaching the submission facility.
Right. Protect the central facility. Sorry, but we're occupied here. Clean them out? Sorry for being a bad boss. I need you to help us take out the remaining enemies in the sky.
We've let too many enemies escape. I know it's a tough mission, but please hang in there. Now help us out in the sky.
The endless attack. They just keep appearing. Could it be that they understand war strategies?
high-energy response is approaching the sky above the facility.
Don't let it near the LHC facility.
The enemy has a rocket in the sky above the LHC. Please don't let them invade any further. The side parts are separated and falling. Captain, the enemy has invaded into the LHC facility.
Right. Pursue it and destroy it by any necessary means.
The enemy has a rocket in the sky above the LHC. Please don't let them invade any further. The enemy has a rocket in the sky above the LHC. Please don't let them invade any further. The side parts are separated and falling. Captain, the enemy has invaded into the LHC facility.
Right. Pursue it and destroy it by any necessary means.
The enemy has a rocket in the sky above the LHC. Please don't let them invade any further. The enemy has a rocket in the sky above the LHC. Please don't let them invade any further. The side parts are separated and falling. Captain, the enemy has invaded into the LHC facility.
Right. Pursue it and destroy it by any necessary means.
The enemy has a rocket in the sky above the LHC. Please don't let them invade any further. The enemy has a rocket in the sky above the LHC. Please don't let them invade any further. The enemy has a rocket in the sky above the LHC. Please don't let them invade any further. The enemy has a rocket in the sky above the LHC. Please don't let them invade any further. Separated and fallen. Captain, the enemy has invaded into the LHC facility.
Right. Pursue it and destroy it by any necessary means.
The enemy has a rocket in the sky above the LHC. Please don't let them invade any further. Separated and fallen. Captain, the enemy has invaded into the LHC facility.
Right. Pursue it and destroy it by any necessary means. Well done. That was close, but you were able to finish it without destroying the LHC facility.
Captain, emergency contact from the back. Surveillance plane is on the floor solely. Message from the second storage room. The crystals were snatched by someone.
One problem after another. Jeez. Can't they just give me some time to enjoy my coffee?
The surveillance plane that stole crystals just now is heading towards the northeastern sea.
The objective is unclear, but recovery is top priority, so hurry and pursue it. Nothing will come by carrying away the crystals. It must have been planned since they penetrated the bellwether and carried them away, right?
A transmission from an unregistered identification code. How shall I proceed?
Cut into the VCD military line, so it may not be unrelated.
The surveillance plane that stole crystals just now is heading towards the northeastern sea.
The objective is unclear, but recovery is top priority, so hurry and pursue it. Nothing will come by carrying away the crystals. It must have been planned since they penetrated the bellwether and carried them away, right?
A transmission from an unregistered identification code. Captain, how should I proceed?
Cut into the VCD military line, so it may not be unrelated. Why don't we connect?
Valvarosa Hawk. You heard it.
The Pyre Valvarosa was the one who stole the crystals.
I heard that attacking the army was a hobby of yours, but I never knew you were a thief. Are you having trouble making a living?
An incompetent bastard who can't even take care of contaminated weapons is gonna treat me like a thief? Just remember that I'm getting...
The surveillance plane that stole crystals just now is heading towards the northeastern sea.
The objective is unclear, but recovery is top priority, so hurry and pursue it. Nothing will come by carrying away the crystals. It must have been planned since they penetrated the bellwether and carried them away, right?
A transmission from an unregistered identification code. Captain, how should I proceed?
Cut into the VCB military line, so it may not be unrelated to this.
The surveillance plane that stole crystals just now is heading towards the northeastern sea.
The objective is unclear, but recovery is top priority, so hurry and pursue it. Nothing will come by carrying away the crystals. It must have been planned since they penetrated the bellwether and carried them away, right?
A transmission from an unregistered identification code. Captain, how should I proceed?
Cut into the VCB military line, so it may not be unrelated to this. Why don't you connect to them?
I'm honored that Trump part of mankind is...
The surveillance plane that stole crystals just now is heading towards the northeastern sea.
The objective is unclear, but recovery is top priority, so hurry and pursue it. Nothing will come by carrying away the crystals. It must have been planned since they penetrated the bellwether and carried them away, right?
A transmission from an unregistered identification code. Captain, how should I proceed?
Cut into the VCB military line, so it may not be unrelated. Why don't you connect to them?
I am honored that Trump part of mankind has chased us this far. This is Valvarosa Hawk. You heard it.
The Pyre Valvarosa! The surveillance plane that stole crystals just now is heading towards the northeastern sea.
The objective is unclear, but recovery is top priority, so hurry and pursue it. Nothing will come by carrying away the crystals. It must have been planned since they penetrated the bellwether and carried them away, right?
A transmission from an unregistered identification code. Captain, how should I proceed?
Cut into the VCB military line, so it may not be unrelated to this. Why don't you connect to them?
I am honored that Trump part of mankind has chased us this far. This is Valvarosa Hawk. You heard it.
The Pyre Valvarosa was the one who stole the crystals.
I heard that attacking the army was a hobby of yours, but I never knew you were a thief. Are you having trouble making a living?
The surveillance plane that stole crystals just now is heading towards the northeastern sea.
The objective is unclear, but recovery is top priority, so hurry and pursue it. Nothing will come by carrying away the crystals. It must have been planned since they penetrated the bellwether and carried them away, right?
A transmission from an unregistered identification code. Captain, how should I proceed?
Cut into the VCB military line, so it may not be unrelated. Why don't you connect to them?
I am honored that the Trump part of mankind has chased us this far. This is Valvarosa Hawk. You heard it.
The Pyre Valvarosa was the one who stole the crystals.
I heard that attacking the army was a hobby of yours, but I never knew you were a thief. Are you having trouble making a living?
The surveillance plane that stole crystals just now is heading towards the northeastern sea.
The objective is unclear, but recovery is top priority, so hurry and pursue it. Nothing will come by carrying away the crystals. It must have been planned since they penetrated the bellwether and carried them away, right?
A transmission from an unregistered identification code. Captain, how should I proceed?
Cut into the VCD military line, though it may not be unrelated. Why don't you connect to them?
I'm honored some part of mankind has chased us this far. This is Valverosa Hawk. You've heard of it.
The H. The pirate Barbarossa was the one who stole the crystals.
I heard that attacking the army was a hobby of yours, but I never knew you were a thief. Are you having trouble making a living?
You incompetent bastard who can't even take care of contaminated weapons is gonna treat me like a thief? Just remember that I'm getting paid to hunt what I felt.
Oh. You get money for those crystals.
You have way too much information. You sound pretty innocent, but I guess I shouldn't underestimate you. I'm in a contract and can't say much, so let's just put it this way. The more disputes, the merrier.
You're involved in crystals? You've been attacking the army for the last few years, but now you're looting crystals? The surveillance plane that stole crystals just now is heading towards the northeastern sea.
The objective's unclear, but recovery is top priority, so hurry and pursue it. Nothing will come by carrying away the crystals. It must have been planned since they penetrated the bellwether and carried them away, right?
A transmission from an unregistered identification code. Captain, how should I proceed?
Cut into the VCD military line, though it may not be unrelated. Why don't you connect?
The surveillance plane that stole crystals just now is heading towards the northeastern sea.
The objective is nothing will come by carrying away the crystals. It must have been planned since they...
The surveillance plane that stole crystals just now is heading towards the northeastern sea.
The objective is unclear, but recovery is top priority, so hurry and pursue it. Nothing will come by carrying away the crystals. It must have been planned since they penetrated the bellwether and carried them away, right?
A transmission from an unregistered identification code. Captain, how should I proceed?
Cut into the VCD military line, though it may not be unrelated. Why don't you connect?
I am honored part of mankind has chased us this far. This is Valverosa Hawk. You've heard of it.
The H. The pirate Barbarossa was the one who stole the crystals.
I heard that attacking the army was a hobby of yours, but I never knew you were a thief. Are you having trouble making a living?
An incompetent bastard who can't even take care of contaminated weapons is gonna treat me like a thief? Just remember that I'm getting paid to hunt what I felt.
Oh. You get money for those crystals.
You have way too much information. You sound pretty innocent, but I guess I shouldn't underestimate you. I'm in a contract and can't say much, so let's just put it this way. The more disputes, the merrier.
You're involved in crystals? You've been attacking the army for the last few years, but now you're looting crystals?
I don't know. I don't understand what a pirate would be thinking. Here's this.
surveillance plane that stole crystals just now is heading towards the northeastern sea.
The objective is unclear, but recovery is top priority, so hurry and pursue it. Nothing will come by carrying away the crystals. It must have been planted since they penetrated the bellwether and carried them away, right?
A transmission from an unregistered identification code. Captain, how should I proceed?
It will cut into the VCE middle system, so it may not be unrelated. Why don't you connect to them?
I am honored that the Trump part of mankind is chastened this far. This is Valverosa Hawk. You've heard of him. The Itch.
But Pirate Barbarossa was the one who stole the crystals.
I heard that attacking the army was a hobby of yours, but I never knew you were a thief. Are you having trouble making a living?
An incompetent bastard who can't even take care of contaminated weapons is gonna treat me like a thief? Just remember that I'm getting paid a ton to go to hell.
Oh. You get money for those crystals.
You way too much information. You sound pretty innocent, but I guess I shouldn't underestimate you. I'm in a contract and can't say much, so let's just put it this way. The more disputes, the merrier.
This? You're involved in crystals? You've been attacking the army for the last few years, but now you're doing crystals?
I don't know. I don't understand what a pirate would be thinking. Here's this.
We are in the optimal place for eliminating the enemy. Please keep it up. Another external transmission this time? Captain. It's from the Weapons Development Division.
It appears that the crystals have been taken by someone. This is an inexcusable mistake, Captain.
Sharp ears as usual. We are doing all we can to recover them. Their hearts to gain, considering sinking the thieves and crystals deep into the sea.
Sink? There's no way that can be allowed. Those are valuable. Well, more important, Bellwether's mission is not to play tag with bandits. We should leave the recovery mission to other squads and prepare for battle with contaminated weapons.
Unfortunately, we don't turn the other cheek. So don't listen to the rumors, Captain, and please return to your important research task.
The people doing the desk work are so carefree.
Done a lot with that precious ship. Very childish of you, fighting thunder like a pirate.
We public officials are gentle on citizens, but it's the VCD's policy.
Another external transmission at this time? It's from the Weapons Development Division.
It appears that the crystals have been taken by someone. This is an inexcusable mistake, Captain.
You have sharp ears as usual. We are doing all we can to recover them. They're hard to regain. Consider it to believe that the crystals can be seen.
Sink? There's no way that can be allowed. Those are valuable.
Another external transmission of this type? Captain? It's from the Weapons Development Division.
It appears that the crystals have been taken by someone. This is an inexcusable mistake, Captain.
You have sharp ears as usual. We are doing all we can to recover them. They're hard to regain. Consider it to believe that the crystals can be seen.
Sink? There's no way that can be allowed. Those are valuable. Well, more importantly, Bellwether's mission is not to play tag with bandits. We should leave the recovery mission to other squads and prepare for battle with contaminated weapons.
Unfortunately, we don't turn the other cheek. So don't listen to the rumors, Captain, and please return to your important research task.
The people who are desperate are so carefree. In battle.
Public officials are gentle on citizens, but it's the VCD's policy to be tough on those who fail to pay their taxes.
I'm also one of these citizens, but hate soldiers. I'm seriously looking back now. VH wouldn't be famous if it ended with this.
It is being bombed, is that alright? Raiden will be in danger too if you overlook Pirates.
Cherished treasure of mankind or whatever. You come at me, and I end. Sorry, but we're going to destroy you.
It's like the strength of an army. The army won't be able to handle the reach.
This isn't the time to be moved. Not the contaminated weapons, but will also have to be seriously engaged. I'm sure you understand. Be careful about it.
Cherished treasure of mankind or whatever. You come at me, and I end. Sorry, but we're going to destroy you.
It's like the strength of an army. The army won't be able to handle the reach.
This isn't the time to be moved. Not the contaminated weapons, but will also have to be seriously engaged. I'm sure you understand. Be careful.
That I underestimate your strength and steel. But I still have a secret. When I turn her on. What? I can't control the weapon. Why is it being contaminated by the crystal? A high energy crystal response from the enemy page. Stolen crystals are mutating into a contaminated state.
The crystals are absorbing the power of the page. The potential to circle a high-power weapon is high. The crystals are absorbing the power of the page. The potential to circle a high-power weapon is high. The crystals are absorbing the power of the page. The potential to circle a high-power weapon is high. The crystals are absorbing the power of the page. The potential to circle a high-power weapon is high. The crystals are absorbing the power of the page. The potential to circle a high-power weapon is high. The crystals are absorbing the power of the page. The potential to circle a high-power weapon is high. Enemy formation has changed. The energy level is increasing. The crystals are absorbing the power of the page. The potential to circle a high-power weapon is high. Enemy formation has changed. The energy level is increasing. The crystals are absorbing the power of the page. The potential to circle a high-power weapon is high. Enemy formation has changed. The energy level is increasing.
Sorry, but it's not over. There's still something else coming up.
The crystals are absorbing the power of the page. The potential to circle a high-power weapon is high. Enemy formation has changed. The energy level is increasing.
Sorry, but it's not over. There's still something else coming up.
The crystals are absorbing the power of the page. The potential to circle a high-power weapon is high. The crystals are absorbing the power of the patch. The potential to serve a high-power weapon is high. Exercise caution. The crystals are absorbing the power of the patch. The potential to serve a high-power weapon is high. Exercise caution. Enemy formation is changed. The energy level is increasing. The crystals are absorbing the power of the patch. The potential to serve a high-power weapon is high. Exercise caution. Enemy formation has changed. The energy level is increasing. The crystals are absorbing the power of the patch. The potential to serve a high-power weapon is high. Exercise caution. Enemy formation has changed. The energy level is increasing. The crystals are absorbing the power of the patch. The potential to serve a high-power weapon is high. Exercise caution. The crystals are absorbing the power of the patch. The potential to serve a high-power weapon is high. Exercise caution. The crystals are absorbing the power of the patch. The potential to serve a high-power weapon is high. Exercise caution. Enemy formation has changed. The energy level is increasing.
Sorry, but it's not over. There's still something else coming up.
The crystals are absorbing the power of the patch. The potential to serve a high-power weapon is high. Exercise caution. Enemy formation has changed. The energy level is increasing. The crystals are absorbing the power of the patch. The potential to serve a high-power weapon is high. Exercise caution. Enemy formation has changed. The energy level is increasing.
Sorry, but it's not over. There's still something else coming up.
absorbing the power of the pitch. The potential to circle high-power weapons is high. Exercise caution. Enemy formation has changed. The energy level is increasing. The crystals are absorbing the power of the pitch. The potential to circle high-power weapons is high. Exercise caution. The crystals are absorbing the power of the pitch. The potential to circle high-power weapons is high. Exercise caution. The crystals are absorbing the power of the pitch. The potential to circle high-power weapons is high. Exercise caution. Enemy formation has changed. The energy level is increasing.
Sorry, but it's not over. There's been something else coming out. Damn. Moron said he wouldn't contaminate me, but look at this! Something the moment I heard that obnoxious name shift.
The enemy battleship and gigantic weapons have been completely...
You know, I would like to talk to you about various things. Can you come to our ship, with Alvaros?
You'll abide by the...
Raiden, can you hear me? We shall commence the attack on the enemy facility based on the information we got from DH.
A facility that was supposed to be closed by the Weapons Development Division. This is
Look, I've told you many times that I was only hired and don't know the details. But I did do my research on the plan because stuff like that is important for a fight.
But I can't believe that it's the weapons development facility that was supposed to be shut down.
There's no time for thinking. It seems they're ready for battle.
Your response to the enemies is wonderful. This performance is remarkable given that the enemy has state-of-the-art weaponry. An incoming transmission from inside the enemy facility.
What is it? There are no contaminated weapons around this area.
Why are you here, Lieutenant?
What are you doing in a facility that should have been torn down? This is different from the official record, isn't it?
It was necessary to avoid the eyes of the idiots in the council. There are a bunch of imbeciles who don't understand the importance of the crystal energies.
I see. So you are breaking them onto the agreement, right?
That agreement is ridiculous. The weapons division has actually already been successful. What do you think provides the energy for fighting Thunder and Bellwether?
That's an intriguing one.
We needed to break from our package to the Council for the Future of Mankind. SHIP is an organization formed by scientists with a similar purpose. You guys on the front lines know well what it would be like if Raiden weren't here during the battle with the crystals, right?
It would have been tough, for sure. The pirate ship hired by the captain has also been contaminated. Crystals aren't something we humans usually like. They're too dangerous.
I thought that the armies would be more useful, but you're being rash, as I imagine. What are you trying to do? Do you realize that you're closing the door to the future of mankind?
That's correct. The danger level from contaminated weapons is something that we know best since we're on the front line. If there's something you want to say to the captain, speak it to them.
Stupid colonists who don't understand the righteousness of ship!
The number of enemies destroyed has displayed the highest value. You're amazing!
There are many things created in that facility of this kind to store and transport machinery and finished weapons. You escaped from there.
Raiden, can you hear me? I'll send you the escape route from within the facility. It's just that now this is outdated, so please ascertain on-site routes in accordance with the situation. Not everything that Lieutenant Campbell has said can be wrong, so it's complicated.
Let's prioritize the performance of duty now, rather than being frustrated.
Raiden is currently entering the underground cargo transport route in the city.
You should be able to leave if you advance that way. Continue calmly.
Escaping from the cargo route. We have the opportunity, so we might as well use the capabilities of the latest weapons we developed.
Be careful, Raiden. Lieutenant Campbell does have first-tier ability as a scientist.
I knew that you guys would be escaping from the cargo route. We have the opportunity, so we might as well use the capabilities of the latest weapons we developed.
Be careful, Raiden. Lieutenant Campbell does have first-tier ability as a scientist.
I knew that you guys would be escaping from the cargo route. We have the opportunity, so we might as well use the capabilities of the latest weapons we developed.
Be careful, Raiden. Lieutenant Campbell does have first-tier ability as a scientist.
It appears that he has a gigantic platform. Please exercise caution.
Here's that the number has increased, but you need to calm down.
I knew that you guys would be escaping from the cargo route. We have the opportunity, so we might as well use the capabilities of the latest weapons we developed.
Be careful, Raiden. Lieutenant Campbell does have first-tier ability as a scientist.
It appears that he has a gigantic platform. Please exercise caution. Bird plane? This is tough. The number has increased.
It appears that the numbers will increase, but you need to calm down.
All the weapons have been destroyed. It was definitely...
This is an internal squabble, and I'd like to make the last one at that.
What will happen to Captain Candy?
That's something for the Council to judge. Let's just focus on the battle that awaits us.
We have entered Arduena Silva Assembly. We will head toward the Strange Space Center after passing through the forest.
Go ahead, Raiden. But watch out for contaminated weapons.
You seem to have safely entered the forest.
I know that it's a secret mission. Can you tell me the target already? I'm just not used to carrying out a mission without knowing what the target is.
Alright. I told you that we were able to retrieve a lot of information from the ship facility that you guys destroyed, right? Well, it seems that any information stored on an individual crystal gets collectively shared by all the other crystals.
Is that really possible?
I've heard that even among terrestrial life forms, an individual learns a new way to hunt. The same method of hunting was suddenly acquired by other individuals all around the world. This may be like the collective unconscious that Young talked about.
It's hard for me to understand difficult things. So can you explain it more in layman's terms?
Simply said, the information...
We have entered Arduena Silva Assembly. We will head toward the Strange Space Center after passing through the forest.
Go ahead, Raiden. But watch out for contaminated weapons.
You seem to have safely entered the forest. We have entered Arduena Silva Assembly. We will head toward the Strange Space Center after passing through the forest.
Go ahead, Raiden. But watch out for contaminated weapons.
You seem to have safely entered the forest.
I know that it's a secret mission. Can you tell me the target already? I'm just not used to carrying out a mission without knowing it.
We have entered Arduena Silva Assembly. We will head toward the Strange Space Center after passing through the forest.
Go ahead, Raiden. But watch out for contaminated weapons.
You seem to have safely entered the forest.
I know that it's a secret mission. Can you tell me the target already? I'm just not used to carrying out a mission without knowing what the target is.
Alright. I told you that we were able to retrieve a lot of information from the ship facility that you guys destroyed, right? Well, it seems that any information stored on an individual crystal gets collectively shared by all the other crystals.
Is that really possible?
I've heard that even among terrestrial life forms, an individual learns a new way to hunt. The same method of hunting was suddenly acquired by other individuals all around the world. This may be like the collective unconscious that Young talked about.
It's hard for me to understand difficult things. So can you explain it more in layman's terms?
Simply said, the information that comes into contact with crystals is being used to prepare contaminated weapons.
I see. So they're making it as unclear as possible as to where they're headed.
That's correct.
entered Arduena Silva Escondida. We will head toward the Estranged Space Center after passing through the coast.
Go ahead, Raiden. But watch out for contaminated weapons.
You seem to have safely entered the forest.
I know that it's a secret mission. Can you tell me the target already? I'm just not used to carrying out a mission without knowing.
We have entered Arduena Silva Escondida. We will head toward the Estranged Space Center after passing through the coast.
Go ahead, Raiden. But watch out for contaminated weapons.
You seem to have safely entered the forest.
I know that it's a secret mission. Can you tell me the target already? I'm just not used to carrying out a mission without knowing what the target is.
All right. I told you that we were able to retrieve a lot of information from the ship facility that you guys destroyed, right? Well, it seems that any information stored on an individual crystal gets collectively shared by all the other crystals.
Is that really possible?
I've heard that even among terrestrial life forms, if an individual lands a new home, the same method of hunting was suddenly acquired by other individuals all around the world. This may be like the collective unconscious that Young talked about.
It's hard for me to understand physical things. So can you explain it more in layman's terms?
Simply said, the information that comes into contact with crystals is being leaked to all the contaminated weapons.
I see. So they're making it as unclear as possible as to where they're headed.
That's correct.
It's crucial that none of the enemies are allowed to escape. We can't win.
Alright. Can you possibly tell us the reason for aiming for the Estranged Space Center?
Well, I'm sorry about this sudden topic, but we'll have to go to outer space.
I see. Excuse me, what did you just say?
I will officially relay the Council mission. Both Bellwether and Fighting Thunder will head toward the planet where the crystals exist and destroy the source of the crystals flying into the Earth. That's it.
Only hint what is that utterly reckless strategy?
Don't worry. Bellwether and Raiden were both created to be active in outer space. You learned that during the training, right?
That's not the problem. The sudden mission?
This is the official mission to us from the Council, right?
Yes. I'm sorry, Max, about asking you to do this reckless mission. It is the kind of crazy mission that we despise.
That's all right. We are soldiers. You tell us to go somewhere, and whether it is the end of the universe or otherwise, we'll accomplish the mission.
Thanks, Max.
booster has detached, switching to the second booster. We are approaching the acceleration limit momentarily. Please hurry back to Bellwether, Raiden. Hurry, Raiden. Break away in 3, 2, 1. I know it's a breakaway mission, but I would have liked it if you had destroyed it a little quicker. I'm calculating the coordinates. Since it was a breakaway to avoid the enemy attack, they seem to have drifted quite far from the island.
What can we do? Head for the destination out the cosmic garbage?
Why do they need weapons?
The equipment for removing the cosmic garbage appears to have been contaminated by the crystals. Before we can realize it, contamination has spread outside of the
I realize that it's really tough with the contaminated weapons, but there's not much time until the warp device will be activated. Please hurry toward the destination.
Is the warp device the Alcubierre drive that was successfully experimented with, like, around 3 years ago, right? Creates space-time foam based on the contraction and extension of space.
The device will be used on the enemy planet. Hurry up, we can't be late.
Numerous contamination responses have been detected among the debris of the colony. Please be careful when moving through. We are leaving from the colony area and will be arriving at the destination safely. The contaminated weapons will spawn at 9 o'clock. What? That's way too big.
I know this one. Its angle, the space debris retrieval column. This has been contaminated too.
contaminated weapons respawn from 9 o'clock. What? That's way too big.
I know this one. It's Angle, the space debris retrieval column.
Contaminated weapons respawn from 9 o'clock. What? That's way too big.
I know this one. It's Angle, the space debris retrieval column. This has been contaminated too.
We can't tell, but it appears we haven't touched it.
Stand firm to the end, Raiden. Got it?
Contaminated weapons respawn from 9 o'clock. What? That's way too big.
I know this one. It's Angle, the space debris retrieval column. This has been contaminated too.
We can't tell, but it appears we haven't touched
Stand firm to the end, Raiden. Got it?
Contaminated weapons respawn from 9 o'clock. What? That's way too big.
I know this one. It's Angle, the space debris retrieval column. This has been contaminated too.
We can't tell, but it appears we haven't touched it.
Stand firm to the end, Raiden. Got it?
The contamination response is disappearing. Target's destroyed.
Gosh. We can say we are fortunate in that they have been destroyed before they would attack the Earth.
Raiden and Bellwether are heading toward the destination zone.
We will somehow be able to make it according to schedule. I wonder if something
Developed into an interesting twist. It's worth leaving the sea sometimes.
What? Barbarossa? Oh, I forgot that you were still aboard. Bellwether has returned to cruising speed. Our Raiden fighters have been deployed.
So it begins. If we lose this battle, we lose all of VCD's main force. Even if that were not the case, all the crystals lying dormant on Earth awaken simultaneously.
We'll begin our descent onto the mother planet. Numerous contaminated weapons confirmed in satellite data. Proceed with caution.
As expected. However, there's no time to make a detour. We must wipe out any enemy forces that obscure our path as we descend. What an advanced civilization. But could it be that it's the planet itself that is contaminated? This must mean that what we had thought was their mother planet was in fact an already contaminated planet.
Is this the future of Earth? Is life on this planet?
We're here to prevent that from happening. Destroy the enemy.
Yes, sir. Wait, what is this? There's something odd. It appears to be a planet which once seemed life, but the atmosphere seems to consist almost completely of carbon dioxide with some...
You really think this is the appropriate time for a science class?
I apologize, but I feel as if I've seen this atmospheric composition ratio from... Bellwether has returned to cruising speed. Our Raiden fighters have been deployed.
So it begins. If we lose this battle, we lose all of VCD's main force. Even if that were not the case, all the crystals lying dormant on Earth awaken simultaneously.
We'll begin our descent onto the mother planet. Numerous contaminated weapons confirmed in satellite data. Proceed with caution.
As expected. However, there's no time to make a detour. We must wipe out any enemy forces that obscure our path as we descend. That civilization. But could it be that it's the planet itself that is contaminated? This must mean that what we had thought was their mother planet was in fact an already contaminated planet.
Is this the future of Earth? Is life on this planet?
We're here to prevent that from happening. Destroy the enemy.
Yes, sir. Wait, what is this? There's something odd. It appears to be a planet which once seemed life, but the atmosphere seems to consist almost completely of carbon dioxide with some nitrogen.
You really think this is the appropriate time for a science class?
I apologize, but I feel as if I've seen this atmospheric composition ratio from... Captain, I'm reading... Bellwether has returned to cruising speed. Our Raiden fighters have been deployed.
So it begins. If we lose this battle, we lose all of VCD's main force. Even if that were not the case, all the crystals lying dormant on Earth awaken simultaneously.
We'll begin our descent onto the mother planet. Numerous contaminated weapons confirmed in satellite data. Proceed with caution.
However, there's no time to make a detour. We must wipe out any enemy forces that obscure our path as we descend. What an advanced civilization. But could it be that it's the planet itself that is contaminated? This must mean that what we had thought was their mother planet was in fact an already contaminated planet.
Is this the future of Earth? Is life on this planet?
We're here to prevent that from happening. Destroy the enemy.
Yes, sir. Wait, what is this? There's something odd. It appears to be a planet which once sustained life, but the atmosphere seems to consist almost completely of carbon dioxide with some nitrogen.
Do you really think this is the appropriate time for a science class?
My apologies, but I feel as if I've seen this atmospheric composition ratio somewhere. Captain, Bellwether has returned to cruising speed. Raiden fighters have been deployed.
So it begins. If we lose this battle, we lose all of VCD's main force. Even if that were not the case, if all the crystals lying dormant on us awaken simultaneously,
We'll begin our descent onto the mother planet. Numerous contaminated weapons confirmed in satellite images. Proceed with caution.
However, there's no time to make a detour. To wipe out any enemy forces that obscure our path as we descend. What may be civilization? But could it be that it's the planet itself that is contaminated? This must mean that what we had thought was their mother planet was in fact an already contaminated planet.
Is this the future of Earth? Is life on this planet?
We're here to prevent that from happening. Destroy the enemy.
Yes, sir. Wait, what is this? There's something odd. It appears to be a planet which once sustained life, but the atmosphere seems to consist almost completely of carbon dioxide with some nitrogen.
Do you really think this is the appropriate time for a science class?
My apologies, but I feel as if I've seen this atmospheric composition ratio somewhere. Captain, I'm reading an ultra-high energy signal deep beneath the surface. It's unlike anything we've come across before. High probability that this is
Must be a path. Extend the range of our radar and search the surface for leaking energy.
understood. In the area ahead, there's a position of energy leaking from up there. They're all Raiden fighters to that location.
Well done. Did you hear that, Raiden? Looks like we'll have to head underground and destroy them directly. Head towards the objective point immediately.
Raiden has made a successful intervention.
Alright. The rest of the Raiden fighters for the Bellwether will report from the air. It will be disadvantageous to fight separately. Gather around the Bellwether and lend each other support.
CO2 at 95.32%, ND at 2.7%, argon at 1.6%, oxygen at 0.1%.
Syria, focus on the battle, Raiden. You can investigate the atmospheric composition to your heart's content.
Yes, I'm sorry. But I've heard that combination somewhere. Your enemy distraction rate is amazing. A brilliant military achievement for a final battle.
Are they in?
Affirmative. Raiden has reached the gate.
Glad they're in. Remember, folks, we're here to fight, not to get ourselves killed.
Well, it's one thing that civilization is progressive, but all these machines and... Personally, I need a view of the ocean.
I remember now, Captain. CO2 at 95.8%, N2 at 2.7%, argon at 1.7%, oxygen at 0.13%. It's Mars! This atmospheric composition is exactly the same as Mars!
Same as Mars. Is that so?
Although I fail to see exactly how that is important.
There is water on Earth and none on Mars. That is said to be the reason why there is only life on Earth. But apparently there was water underneath Mars' surface. Why is there no life on Earth?
Who knows? I'm not a scientist, so I haven't got a clue.
What is the if there was first water and then Mars?
If for some reason life disappeared, the water disappeared and the oxygen disappeared from the atmosphere, are you saying that was caused by the crystals?
I thought it was odd when you first introduced it. Regardless of the contamination caused by the crystals, in order to destroy all life forms from the planet would take too long, isn't it?
I see. So what you're suggesting is that the crystals buried on Earth were not meant to contaminate the planets, but were buried to change the atmosphere itself. So you mean to change the planet itself?
But what would be the crystal's motive for doing that? You mean to say they aren't trying to invade us?
What an impressive response speech for a first-time battling Irishman. If the battle will be up recently. I don't know that much, but he may have been thinking about this all wrong.
Assyria, can you analyze the ingredients of the crystals around Raiden?
I'll try. The crystals here are made mostly out of hydrogen and oxygen. In other words, they're close to one.
Assyria, can you analyze the ingredients of the crystals around Raiden?
I'll try. The crystals here are made mostly out of hydrogen and oxygen. In other words, they're close to one.
So what's being made here is different from the contaminated crystals after all.
If water is present, then more than half the CO2 in the atmosphere would dissolve into water. There is a chance that the same thing that happened in the early stages of Earth to create the ocean will occur here.
So, after turning the entire planet into an uninhabitable planet like Mars, we can transform it back into a planet where life can live?
Seriously. So the crystals are trying to reset the planet?
Looks like this was more than a simple matter of a space invasion by an extraterrestrial life.
Do we bring to beings who act on a scale like this? These are beings who control...
Assyria, can you analyze the ingredients of the crystals around Raiden?
I'll try. The crystals here are made mostly out of hydrogen and oxygen. In other words, they're close to one.
So what's being made here is different from the contaminated crystals after all.
If water is present, then more than half the CO2 in the atmosphere will dissolve into water. There is a chance that the same thing that happened in the early stages of Earth to create the ocean will occur here.
So, after turning the entire planet into an uninhabitable planet like Mars, we can transform it back into a planet where life can live?
Seriously. So the crystals are trying to reset the planet?
Looks like this is more than a simple matter of a space invasion by an extraterrestrial life. Syria. Can you analyze the ingredients of the crystals around Raiden?
I'll try. The crystals here are made mostly out of hydrogen and oxygen. In other words, they're close to transformed.
Syria. Can you analyze the ingredients of the crystals around Raiden?
I'll try. The crystals here are made mostly out of hydrogen and oxygen. In other words, they're close to transformed.
So what's being made here is different from the contaminating crystals after all.
If water is present, then more than half the CO2 in the atmosphere will dissolve into water. There is a chance that the same thing that happened in the early stages of Earth to create the ocean.
So, after turning the entire planet into an uninhabitable planet like Mars, we can transform it back into a planet where life can live?
Seriously? So the crystals are trying to reset the planet?
Looks like this was more than a simple matter of a space invasion by an extraterrestrial life.
Do we wind of beings who act on a scale like this? These are beings who control planets.
But doesn't mean we can just give up. Besides, I've already planned my schedule for my vacation.
You're right. It's not good to analyze things more than it's necessary. We're military. All we're required to do is do our best to complete our mission.
Well, that's a whole other question.
Are they the same civilization? Although I'm not entirely sure they even have a concept of civilization.
Captain, the magnetic field surrounding Raiden is...
Syria. Can you analyze the ingredients of the crystals around Raiden?
I'll try. The crystals here are made mostly out of hydrogen and oxygen. In other words, they're close to transformed.
So what's being made here is different from the contaminating crystals after all.
If water is present, then more than half the CO2 in the atmosphere will dissolve into water. There is a chance that the same thing that happened in the early stages of Earth to create the ocean will occur here.
So, after turning the entire planet into an uninhabitable planet like Mars, we can transform it back into a planet where life can live?
Seriously? So the crystals are trying to reset the planet?
Looks like this is more than a simple matter of a space invasion by an extraterrestrial life.
Do we wind of beings who act on a scale like this? These are beings who control planets.
But doesn't mean we can just give up. Besides, I've already planned my schedule for my vacation.
You're right. It's not good to analyze things more than it's necessary. We're military. All we're required to do is do our best to complete our mission.
Well, that's a whole other direction to take things. A far outcry from our scientific.
Are they the same civilization? Or a different civilization of crystals? Although I'm not entirely sure they even have a concept of civilization.
Captain, the magnetic field surrounding Raiden is turning into something like a storm. This radar communication will be severed.
Right. Hear us? Spawn, what's going on?
We've lost communication. However, vitals still remain, so it is likely that it will...
Can you analyze the ingredients of the crystals around Raiden?
I'll try. The crystals here are made mostly out of hydrogen and oxygen. In other words, they're close to transformed.
Syria. Can you analyze the ingredients of the crystals around Raiden?
The crystals here are made mostly out of hydrogen and oxygen. In other words, they're close to transformed.
So what's being made here is different than contaminating crystals after all.
If water is present, then more than half the CO2 in the atmosphere will dissolve into water. There is a chance that the same thing that happened in the early stages of Earth to create the ocean will occur here.
So, after turning the entire planet into an uninhabitable planet like Mars, we can transform it back into a planet where life can live.
Seriously? So the crystals are trying to reset the planet?
Syria. Can you analyze the ingredients of the crystals around Raiden?
I'll try. The crystals here are made mostly out of hydrogen and oxygen. In other words, they're close to transformed.
So what's being made here is different than contaminating crystals after all.
If water is present, then more than half the CO2 in the atmosphere will dissolve into water. There is a chance that the same thing that happened in the early stages of Earth to create the ocean will occur here.
So, after turning the entire planet into an uninhabitable planet like Mars, we can transform it back into a planet where life can live.
Seriously? So the crystals are trying to reset the planet?
Looks like this was more than a simple matter of a space invasion by an extraterrestrial life.
Can we win to beings who act on a scale like this? These are beings who control planets.
It doesn't need to think it's give up. Besides, I believe that my schedule cannot exist.
You're right. It's not good to analyze things more than it's necessary. We're military. All we're required to do is do our best to complete our mission.
Well, that's a whole other direction to take things. A far outcry from our scientific discussion.
Are they the same civilization, or a different civilization of crystals? Although I'm not entirely sure they even have a concept of civilization.
Captain, the magnetic field surrounding Raiden is turning into something like a sphere. This radar communication will be scattered.
Right. Hear us? It's far. What's going on?
We've lost communication. However, vitals still remain, so it is likely that it will... What exactly are the things?
Consider cheap answers, like them being the wake-up call, the revenge upon mankind.
Not exactly ready to stop eating, drinking, and being merry anytime soon. There's no way I'm not returning to Earth and seeing the big blue sea again.
There's nothing we can do now. We just have to pray that Raiden returns to control.
Raiden, I don't know if you can hear me. Get back here.
Captain, the surrounding energy signals have all stopped. All enemies who had been engaged with Raiden fighters have stopped moving. Captain, we've received a transmission.
Well, we've been taking our...
I'll leave it up to you if that's the case. Well then, although...
Bellwether, what's your current Also, in similar underground locations to the there are those who say that you...
What? How can this be? I'm certain that all the crystals on this planet have been destroyed.
Yes, it appears that all the crystals on this planet have been destroyed.
Hold on. We're receiving another transmission. It appears this was sent after the previous one.
Bellwether, what is... I'm no expert.
That's all...
We've no time to analyze it. I don't know if we'll be able to make it.